You've probably heard about FTX and Sam Bankman Fried over the last couple of days, whether it be from finance gurus who peddled their products and are now apologizing for advertising for them, like Graham Stephan and Kevin O'Leary, or from Instagram posts about Sam Bankman Fried losing 94% of his fortune overnight. The collapse of FTX will be an iconic business moment like unto the Enron scandal that will leave its mark on history. So to help everyone understand what happened, I read all the timelines and articles to put together an easy to understand 5-minute summary of what's happened. Before we start though, you'll need to know a couple of things. First is that Sam Bankman Fried, along with founding FTX, started a cryptocurrency-based hedge fund that was called Alameda Research. Second is that FTX's collapse centers around these two companies and sketchy, unethical, and illegal business practices. Third is that Sam Bankman Fried is often referred to as SBF, and I will refer to him as SBF for the rest of the video. If you guys appreciate all the work it takes to sift through and compile all the information about this scandal, show your support by giving this video a like. And if you want more videos about business, finance, and in this case scandal, consider subscribing. I promise you won't regret it. And now here's everything you need to know about the collapse of FTX in less than 5 minutes. Wednesday, November 2nd. CoinDesk published an article that showed that Alameda Research was heavily in debt and that its main asset was FTT tokens, which is a digital coin that FTX creates out of thin air to give out as a reward for trading on the platform. This is different than Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. If you want more information about their differences, check out this video tagged right here about the differences. The report stated that $6 billion of Alameda's $15 billion in assets was held in FTT tokens. The article said that, quote, while there is nothing per se untoward or wrong about that, it shows Bankman Fried's trading giant Alameda rests on a foundation largely made up of a coin that a sister company invented, not an independent asset like a fiat currency or another crypto. The situation adds to evidence that the ties between FTX and Alameda are unusually close, end quote. This article weakened public trust in FTX and the FTT token's price began to fall. Sunday, November 6th, the CEO of rival crypto exchange Binance tweeted that he was planning to sell off Binance's stockpile of FTT tokens in light of the information from the CoinDesk article. Binance had been an original investor in FTX, and when they sold out of their equity position back in 2021, they bought a lot of FTT. Binance's CEO compared the FTT token to the now defunct Luna token that went to $0 back in May. This tweet essentially set off a bank run on FTX as people raced to withdraw their money because they were afraid that FTX didn't have the cash to stay afloat. $5 billion was withdrawn from FTX on Sunday alone. Now, if everything was above board the way SBF claimed it was, this shouldn't have been a cataclysmic problem, but things were not as they seemed. Tuesday, November 8th. FTX halted customer withdrawals, but things looked like they might turn out okay because at the time, the crisis looked like a liquidity crunch. Binance had announced an agreement to buy FTX, and even though it was technically a non-binding agreement that was subject to due diligence for the moment, the announcement calmed the market. The next day, Wednesday, November 9th, Binance announced that they would not buy FTX. The CEO said it was beyond Binance's capability to make the firm whole, and added that at least $8 billion would be required to save the company. This is the day when the magnitude of SBF's actions began to become apparent. Instead of keeping customer funds deposited on the platform separate as he should have, SBF had loaned $10 billion of FTX's total $16 billion in assets to the struggling Alameda Research firm without telling anyone. Alameda put up FTT tokens as collateral for the cash, which became worthless after the CoinDesk article and Binance announcement prompted a mass sell-off. So when all of FTX's users wanted their money out, FTX didn't have the cash to give them. How did he loan out billions without anyone knowing? Great question. Reuters reported that, quote, in a subsequent examination, FTX legal and finance teams learned that SBF implemented what the two people described as a backdoor in FTX's bookkeeping system, which was built using bespoke software. This backdoor allowed SBF to execute commands that would alter the company's financial records without alerting anyone else, including external auditors. This setup meant that the movement of the $10 billion in funds to Alameda did not trigger internal compliance or accounting red flags at FTX, end quote. So essentially, SBF had a master control that made it look like all the money was where it should have been when he had actually loaned it out to Alameda. Now, he could have gotten away with this if the price of FTT tokens hadn't collapsed and spurred the mass withdrawals from FTX. Obviously, this sounds kind of illegal, so US regulators began investigating FTX. Thursday, November 10th. Despite what SBF had previously said about FTX US, which is technically a separate legal entity from FTX being safe, FTX US put a warning up on the site saying that trading could be halted in the next couple of days. and encouraged people to take their funds out. SBF said that Alameda Research, the trading firm at the center of the drama, would be wound down as he tried to do an emergency funding round to give FTX liquidity. Friday, November 11th, FTX US froze all withdrawals. Then FTX, Alameda Research, FTX US, and 129 other entities that are woven into the fabric of these corporate structures declared bankruptcy in the United States, and SBF stepped down from his position as CEO. In the 23-page bankruptcy filing obtained by CNBC, FTX indicated that it has more than 100,000 creditors, assets in the range of $10 billion to $50 billion, as well as liabilities in the range of $10 billion to $50 billion, which honestly doesn't tell us that much. But by comparison, Lehman Brothers, the firm that kickstarted the Great Recession, had more than $600 billion in assets. And Enron, the company at the center of the early 2000s accounting scandal, had $60 billion in assets when they went bankrupt. But wait, there's more. On Saturday, November 12th, it's revealed that $1 to $2 billion of the $10 billion SBF had transferred to Alameda had gone missing. And FTX announced that they had lost hundreds of millions of dollars in an apparent hack. As of writing, although rumors have swirled about SBF fleeing to Argentina, CNBC reports that SBF is still in the Bahamas. As for the future of FTX and the money institutional and retail investors put into FTX, all we know right now is that the new CEO, John Ray, says that they aim to, quote, maximize recoveries for stakeholders, end quote. But no one really knows what that means. Despite SBF's original statements, both FTX US and FTX are currently in bankruptcy and are illiquid. People's cash is trapped in them, and until the bankruptcy proceedings are completed, that money will stay trapped. The fall of FTX has hurt the wider crypto space as well, with Bitcoin hovering around $1,600 and Ethereum around $1,200. But the scarier thing about this whole story is how many smart people were deceived. Some of the most reputable investment firms out there put billions into the company after doing proper financial analysis, and yet they still got deceived by this quirkily charismatic guy who thought he could take massive risks and get away with it. I don't know why Sam Bankman Fried did what he did, but the actions he'd made will ripple through thousands of lives and bank accounts for years to come. Can you guys see any lessons from this story? Why do you think things like Theranos, FTX, Lehman Brothers, and Enron keep happening? Is it greed? Is it the slippery slope of rationalization? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. If you guys enjoyed this video and want to get a weekly video from me about business, finance, or entrepreneurship, be sure to subscribe. It really helps me out. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.